been a while since we posted anything on, well, anywhere really. I'm just going to drop a little bit of food onto these bees if they're alive. There they are. I'm not going to open them up though. Condensation there. Maybe I shouldn't have left those lids in, but at least it's not dripping on them. So I'm going to give them a feed. Oh, that wouldn't have been good, but they don't seem to be bothered by it. It's not necessarily the cold that kills bees really, it's the humidity, moisture that will drip off them or onto them rather than off them. Same with that one, but they're not bothered. This one I'll have a quick look in. I need to lift it up to get to the one underneath, obviously, but they're still alive. So I'll feed these 4, then I'll lift this one up. So just like that. I'm going to leave that there because they'll get up into that. They'll clean that off there. They'll come out that hole. But they are all flyers. They're quiet. These ones are a little bit swift. So these 4 have survived so far. I'll stick a little frame around that first. A little bit of activity. I just moved this little new cover top of this one so I can lift the lid off, and you can see here where they brought pollen in and it's fallen through the wire mesh floor. You also see a little residue here of oxalic acid as it was trickled down through. So I'll clean it off again without disturbing that water too much. They're doing okay. Although they're alive, there's no indication that there's a queen in there which is laying eggs. It just means that the colony hasn't died. These 2 hands, so that one there, just put over the top. That one, it can come up for that. They'll come up here and they'll clean that off. Wood lice here, I'm not too fussed about these, because if it was in a tree, these would be there anyway, and the bees deal with them, so don't be put off by them. And of course, this isn't the honey box. The honey supers go above this box, and when the time comes, the bees will be able to manage those and cope with those. These ones here are usually a little bit feisty, or they have been in the past. Seeped out a bit there, but they still do have some left. So I'm not going to feed them again, I'm going to let them clean that up. And then the lid, I'll change this when the time comes. It's a bit too cold to be start messing around with them now. But again, so another one survived. This one beside it, this survived the spring and the summer with a wasp's nest right in front of it. They seem to be doing alright. Not too sure what's on that one. That's just a bit of fondant caught on that one that hasn't been cleaned off, or maybe a little bit of the syrup from the oxalic acid that was trickled down through. I'm going to crack the lid on that one and have a look. Yeah, just pulling the syrup down through it, or the fondant down through it. Again, although they're alive, it doesn't necessarily mean that there's a laying queen in there. We won't know that until we do our first inspections. My screen's just gone dim as well, but I'm gonna leave that one on, and I'll put them with just a little hole here so they can still get in and out, a little bit of airflow through it, but they'll also be able to get to that one. Before my phone runs out, the battery runs out. They're doing alright. Just quick for them. On the same pallet. And these ones, I'm going to leave that open for a little while because they don't have a second hole for ventilation, so the bees will fly out of there. They'll work their way back in. I'll get these bees out. When they come around the entrance, I'll stick the lid back on. These ones here was a small little colony. They've still got some left. I'm just going to leave them alone. They are alive in there though. I'm not going to bother feeding them because they've got food there. This one, we'll have a look. You're seeing this as I am, really, because these lids haven't been up since they were fed last. Let me get a tool on that. So again, that one, there's plenty in there, I think, for possibly the size and the response that they've given me there. So I'm going to leave them alone. I don't know what you saw of that, but I'm going to leave these ones alone. My phone died on me. There's enough there, and the activity, small little cluster. So there's not a great deal going on. I don't think they're going to need any more than what they've already got. And they are flying, you know, they have been in the warmth. But my phone died on me, so I'm on a different phone at the moment. So I'll stick these together. And they still have some left in there. So I don't need to bother them. Bit of a mix of these. The lids, I'm not too fussed really about lifting lids because the lids are ventilated. So there's warmth escaping, draft blowing through, but lifting the crown boards, although this is just going to be a quick look, can let that heat out. They seem to be doing alright. Tight little cluster still, but it'll come through for the spring. Fingers crossed anyway. So we've only lost one colony. And that, if you've seen it before, is elsewhere. In fact, I've just come back to this one again because these bees here aren't bothered at all by me being here. And what you would possibly get is a few bees would get up and fly around and they'd start a bit of an orientation flight, or they'd maybe come back to the entrance. The guard bees would then be thinking, oh, I need to go and check on them, see who's coming in. Causes a bit of a commotion at the entrance, a bit of a disturbance within the hive, and you get a bit more activity. But these aren't bothered at all. Interesting, but nice as well, because they may be bred from them, because I've yet to choose a colony as a grafting colony for breeding queens. But the colonies that we've had, or some colonies that we have, the angry bees are no longer angry bees, and some of the calmer bees, some of the calmer colonies are a little bit angry, but it's difficult to tell really in the winter. We'll see.